In 1989, Nintendo released a handheld console that would go on to define an entire generation. The Game Boy wasn't the fastest, it wasn't the most advanced, it didn't even have a color screen. But somehow this little gray brick sold millions and became one of the most iconic gaming devices ever made. Decades later, its influence is still everywhere. So today I'm going to build my own. The first step was picking the right hardware. The brain of this console is the ESP32-S3 driving a 2-inch LCD. To keep it portable, I'm packing in a 1000 mAh battery and a USB-C port. Add in a tiny 1-watt speaker with a dedicated audio amp, a micro SD card slot, tactile buttons, and a handful of supporting components. With the components locked in, it was time to design the actual board. Since this is a handheld, size was everything. I challenged myself to squeeze the entire circuit into roughly the size of a credit card. Once the digital design was finished, I got the PCBs manufactured and waited for them to arrive on the workbench. Before we continue, I'd like to thank today's sponsor, NextPCB. If you're working on your own custom hardware, NextPCB is a solid choice for manufacturing. They offer high-quality boards with incredibly fast production times, and they support everything from simple prototypes to complex multi-layered designs. Check them out using the link in the description. Now let's get back to the build. I started by soldering all of the SMD components first, since they're the smallest and easiest to place before the larger parts get in the way. Now that the electronics are finished, the console just needed an enclosure. So I designed a custom shell inspired by the Game Boy. For the enclosure, I chose a translucent purple PETG filament to give the console a retro-inspired look. Everything seemed to be going perfectly until it was time to remove the print. That's when I discovered that PETG can bond surprisingly well to glass. A little too well, actually. The print came off along with a chunk of the build plate. Now that the hardware was finished, the next challenge was getting it to actually run games. Thankfully, I didn't have to start from scratch. I found an open source firmware called RetroGo that already supports ESP32 powered handheld consoles. After tweaking the configuration to match my display controls and other hardware, I compiled the firmware and flashed it. All that was left was to load up an SD card and power it on. And the best part is this handheld isn't limited to just Nintendo. It can handle Sega, ColecoVision, PC Engine, Atari Lynx, and obviously it runs Doom. Before loading up any games, I fully charged the battery and got the handheld ready for testing. Another really cool feature of RetroGo is its web file manager. It lets me upload games directly to the microSD card over Wi-Fi, so there's no need to remove the card every time I want to add a new game. And that's it, it's finally time to have some fun. Let's play a few games and see how this thing actually handles.